Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're having a good day so far. Today I want to talk about my favourite games that I played in 2022. Now, we're getting towards the end of the year and, if you're anything like me, then you've probably played a huge number of games throughout the year. Typically, I tend to bounce around between games more than I like. I sort of like start one, make a little bit of progress, but not too far, then I get distracted by another new shiny game. But this year I've made a real effort to try and actually progress through some games further. And so I want to talk to you about some games that I played that I really enjoyed this year. These aren't in order of preference, they're just in the order that I can remember playing them. And the first one is Pokemon Legends Arceus. So this game sort of came out of nowhere for me, and I think for everyone really. It just kind of, the trailer launched really unexpectedly. Nobody thought that it was going to come out, so soon afterwards. And it was Pokemon's first sort of step towards an open world game. Now, I was actually a bit hesitant when I saw the trailer because I just thought the quality of the game didn't look very good, the performance didn't look very good. I didn't buy it right away. I sort of waited for a little while and, waited to see what the reviews were like. And even after reviews had come out and they were mostly positive, I still waited a little bit longer just to sort of see. But I'm really glad that I did actually pick this one up because I had a really good time with it. I wasn't too sure, if just sort of throwing Pokeballs out into the world was going to be for me. But I think it does suit the franchise really well, walking around, seeing the Pokemon out there. That's the best bit really, isn't it? Walking around and seeing the Pokemon like in the world around you. That's the bit that everybody wants. That's a childhood fantasy. I played all the way from, Yellow was my first one. So, from there, that's the fantasy, isn't it? To see the Pokemon in the world around you and to, go and catch them. And that bit works really well. I also really enjoyed how the battles are sped up. There's much less sitting around waiting for combat effects to finish and, waiting for the text animation to stop. You just breeze through combat really quickly in this game, which really helps, I think. It was a shame that you couldn't have a Pokemon that walked around behind you all the time, like in, say, Soul Silver or Heart Gold. But what you could do instead was you could just send your entire party out all at once and just have all of them sat around you, just hanging out. I really liked that. That was really good. And just generally, I didn't have too many complaints about the game at all. I liked the music on the whole. There was some really nice bouncy tunes. The story was interesting to me as well. There was a couple of twists and turns that it's not that I didn't see them coming in a normal game, it's that I didn't see them coming in a Pokemon game. It was kind of like, if it had been any other game, I would have expected a twist and turn like that. But because it was a Pokemon game, I didn't expect certain twists and turns that happen in the story. And that sort of, I guess, subversion of my expectations, it was a nice surprise, I suppose, is what I'm trying to say. The only thing that I wasn't super keen on in Arceus is the gating of the world. So you had to unlock new areas, you had to get your star rating up, and to do that you just had to go and catch more Pokemon, complete the different little missions and do that. And that I found to be a little bit constricting. I'd finish an area and I would be excited to go and get the new area, go to the new area, and I wasn't allowed to at first. When that happened, I will say that I did put the game down for a little bit, and I always came back to it, but seeing that you need to get another star rank, that bothered me. And then on the same lines, I didn't really finish the story the whole way through because the final battle is gated behind what I think, essentially, from looking it up online, is essentially you just catch every single Pokemon in the game. I've never done that in any Pokemon game. I really did want to see the ending, but I'm not that kind of player that will happily go and hunt every single Pokemon, especially when some of them are like, you have to go and find 50 wisps and that kind of thing. It's not for me really to go and do that kind of, I'm not a completionist normally, so I didn't do that final ending, and that kind of bothered me. But apart from that one thing, the gating, I really, really had a good time. And I want to get Scarlet and Violet, and they are out now and I can see them, and I can see that there are some really good ideas there. But I'm just worried again about that performance. All you hear at the moment about Scarlet and Violet is that they're not running very well, so I'm going to keep my eye on it, and I hope it gets a little bit better, and maybe I'll pick it up anyway, maybe not. I'd like to, so I'll see what happens. Okay, moving on now to Ghost of Tsushima, and everybody has already talked about Ghost of Tsushima. It's an incredible game. Everything about the game is good. The story is good. The combat is good. The open world is incredible. That is an open world done right. The graphics are amazing. The world of Tsushima just looks incredibly beautiful. The colors, the trees, the flowers, even the flowers just on the hillside, just there are parts of the game where all you're doing is you're riding your horse up a hill, and just because you can see these flowers, these colourful flowers on the hillside all around you, it just looks amazing. The side missions as well, on the whole, were much more interesting to me than in a normal open world game. I really like RPGs, guys. I don't know if that's come across in other videos. If you've watched some of my other videos about gaming, you probably do know that I really like RPGs. And, you know, as an RPG fan, I do like side missions, but I don't like side missions that are the same every time. And these ones were different all the time. You know, they were all had different stories. They were really interesting. It wasn't always... I mean, even though gameplay often boils down to go to this place, kill these creatures, they tended to sell it in a different way that I found more interesting. And then the main story then was just gripping, you know, almost the entire way through. There was actually one point in the main story where, I'm not going to spoil it, but sort of towards the middle, I actually kind of welled up a little bit. I'm getting a bit soft in my old age, and, you know, things do make me feel a bit emotional these days. And yeah, there was one point in the middle of Ghost of Tsushima where... you know, I really felt it here. And then the end of the game, there's a decision you have to make. No spoilers again, there's a decision you have to make. And I just kind of sat there for a long time, not really knowing what to do. And then I eventually did make my choice. And then afterwards, I sat there again thinking, oh my God, did I make the right choice? I have no idea if that was the right choice. That I will think about that for a long time, I think. And that's how I know a game has really sort of resonated with me. If I'm still thinking about it for a long time afterwards, I will be thinking of Ghost of Tsushima for a long time. Oh, and just one more thing that I want to say on Ghost of Tsushima really quickly. The opening mission is just incredible. I originally played the game a little while ago and tried to get into it, but didn't. And then when I replayed it, I actually played it on the PS5 version. And I was actually really excited to do that opening mission again, because I think it's just so cool. You know, the fight on the beach is incredible. And then actually playing it on PS5 with the new features on the controller and things like that, it really adds to it for me. When you sort of gallop your horse on rocks, and you just hear that click, 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 click coming through the controller. I don't know, that's just neat, isn't it? It's different. It's something that I miss when I play non-PS5 games. I think it's really cool. Okay, game number 3 now, and it's one that I didn't expect to get into as much as I did, and that's Disney Dreamlight Valley. So, like a lot of people in the 2020 lockdowns here in the UK, I really got into Animal Crossing. I played it a lot with my partner, you know, and we really had a good time swapping stories, you know, showing each other things we'd found, talking to each other about our islands, and just generally having like a cozy gaming time, if that makes sense. And actually, Disney Dreamlight Valley has been kind of a similar type of game for us. So, you know, we played it, you know, next to each other at the same time. We've talked about the missions that we're doing. We've sort of like been like, oh, I found this item of clothing. Have you found this item of clothing? That kind of thing, you know, talking to each other about which characters we've been playing with. There's one mission, it's kind of early on, but I won't spoil it too much. There's one mission where you have to do something for Ursula, and it's kind of a bit puzzly, and so we were talking to each other about what we thought the solutions to the puzzle were. And it was just nice, you know, it was nice to have that shared gaming experience again, like we did with Animal Crossing. And in some ways, I actually think Disney Dreamlight Valley is better. I'm really enjoying the ongoing content that's happening with it. There's these star paths and things like that you can do. That they're sort of like battle passes, but they've been bringing them out once every month or every couple of months, and I've been into them. You know, we started playing when the Scar one came out, and we did all of that battle pass, the villains one, and now we're playing. They just released a Christmas one a few days ago from when I'm recording this. And, you know, we've been having a good time with that. You know, there's new characters coming out. Woody and Buzz have just come out, and there's a third character that I'm pretty sure is going to come, who's one of my favourite characters. I won't say too much, but he's a little blue guy. And I'm not like the biggest Disney fan in the world, but they are still the characters that I watched as a child. So I do still have like some nice nostalgic memories there. So, you know, that kind of does it for me as well. I'm just hoping that it doesn't get the Animal Crossing treatment. I don't think it will. I want them to keep going with their star paths and continuous content, things like that. I don't want it to end like Animal Crossing did. And if they do that, I will probably keep playing for quite a while, as long as my partner does. I think if my partner doesn't play, then I'm not sure I would keep going, because I think it's that shared gaming experience that I'm really, really into. Okay, number 4 is maybe cheating a little bit, but at the same time, it has been something that I've played a lot in 2022 and I've really enjoyed it. And it's Mario Kart 8. But it's not base game Mario Kart 8, it's the fact that the DLC has been coming throughout this year. You know, we've had new tracks spread out throughout the year. To start, Mario Kart's just great, isn't it? You know, everybody has a good time with Mario Kart. It's so popular, it's so fun, it's wacky. It's amazing. It's especially good to play with friends, which is what I've been doing recently. And then getting new tracks was just so unexpected. You know, everybody was waiting for an announcement of a new Mario Kart, and that didn't come. We got instead new tracks, and I'm fine with that. You know, I've been really having a good time with these new tracks. It's actually what made me subscribe to the higher tier of Nintendo Switch Online, just to get these tracks. Every week I typically do one games night a week with some old friends from college, and we've sort of bounced around games sometimes, but every time there's new Mario Kart tracks, that tends to be what we play for the next few weeks at least. And it's just fun to mess around. We do online races and we just mess around with each other. One of my friends is pretty nice, and he'll like give us a warning if he's behind us with a red shell. He'll be like, you know, whoa, slow down a little bit or I'm going to hit you with this red shell. And then my other friend is just ruthless and he will just murder us. And also, is it just me, but do the new tracks seem to be getting better each time? I kind of think they are a little bit. I've been enjoying them more and more as new waves come out. We're on wave 3 right now when I'm recording this, so that's just come out last week, I think. And that one's probably my favourite wave of tracks so far. Some of my favourite individual tracks at the moment include Sky Garden, that one. There's Ninja Hideaway, which has come from Tour, which I really like that one. I was surprised how much I like that one. Coconut Mall, which is an old favourite. There's Rock Mountain, which I never played before, so I really like that one. And Merry Mountain as well. Merry Mountain is my current favourite, but it's a Christmas track, so that's probably why. But yeah, there you go. Just been having a really good time with Mario Kart. It's one of my favourite games this year, simply down to the DLC tracks and playing them with friends. Okay, last one, and it's the first PC game that I've played, and it's come from the Steam Deck, and it's Vampire Survivors. And I've talked about this a lot already. It's just a really unexpectedly fun game. I don't want to go into too much detail because, as I say, I've sort of talked about it in a few in my other 2 gaming videos because those are focused around the Steam Deck and that's what I've played it on. But essentially it boils down to, it's a really fun roguelike experience. It's kind of, I've heard it described as like a dopamine machine really, with, you know, the noises coming at you and the way you level up and you just see everything around you get absolutely eviscerated the more powerful you get. The power, fantasy and progression in the game is really what does it for me, I think. I've played it quite a lot now. I've unlocked quite a lot of different characters and different levels, and there's actually DLC coming out in I think it's in a week's time, and 100% I'm buying it. There's no question. It's not even expensive. It's something like £1.70 for the DLC. And considering I've already played for over 10 hours of the base game, of course I'm going to buy it. There's no question. Okay, so those are my 5. That's my 5 favourite games that I played in 2022. I do want to throw in one bonus one, and that's God of War Ragnarok. I didn't want to include this in the main list because I haven't finished it yet, but I think I'm about halfway through and I can already say it's going to be one of my favourite games. I'm really, really enjoying it. It's not a surprise. 2018 God of War was also one of my favourite games ever. I really like the story, the combat, the world is incredible. This game seems to add on to onto the 2018 game even more. It's sort of like, it's even more beautiful. There's the relationships between the characters obviously has had a whole game's worth of development. There's some really like tug at your heart kind of moments, especially at the start. There's another, what is it with games and like getting to me recently, but the start of God of War Ragnarok has a very, you know, tear-jerking moment, at least for me anyway. It's kind of hard not to talk too much about it without going into spoilers, and I really don't want to spoil it because I really think everybody should just go and play it. But there's sort of been some direction to the story that I wasn't expecting, and I mean that in a good way. I haven't sort of gone, oh, I wasn't expecting that and I don't want it, no thank you. I've gone, oh, I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, okay, let's do it. So there we go. Those were my favourite games that I played in 2022. Are any of these the same as your favourite games from 2022, or do you have completely different ones? Let me know down in the comments. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. It lets me know that you're enjoying it. Happy holidays, and I hope to see you in the next video.